7 Asempa FM so ne Ekosiisen dwumadie ena wasuguso a utiere enche the discussion segment no ebetwamo. So we've done 13 minutes after 4 on our studio clock. Meeting your say bonso. My enkoso fast said that Emma Snit ZP Access Bank and Snit and common and komo here papa me pacho make us say oye Ghanaian oye juma. And especially more juma. We maybe we tailor ni we seamstress, we makeup artist, we barber, we online entrepreneur. A juma be we maybe our provision store. I mean, a juma be we juma. Mostly we be na free say yeah juma ne de and what's it snit. In the snit the omo a ban juma mo ye a juma ye tria won cabo some or mon kwan was it snit. Me patch or dabi o dachi inti e was say was start it snit. In the snit at the seed campaign aba seed campaign and the campaign be a uhia se wodo ho ebeshim the snit e kenyina ne say say we a fashion designer, we a barber, we a makeup artist, we a online entrepreneur, and that's how our business bit say provision store. And I be you can still contribute to SNET. Now, what's my benefit from old age and invalidity pension benefit? In here, papa, in the modern nation so. Also, no, as part of our seed campaign, we saw Baba register now, so shall say contribute here. SNET say. Before so be 72 years no nyame emphasa mabasa nyame ton safre wansan we 72 years survivors lump sum benefit ni betua e de amanipa bia be nominate ne so ye would dependent. Isn't that great? In this SNIT ebe sad and I went to register with SNIT and sign up for seed e would dachi into message yourself funny personal so we register with SNIT we. Now, I must need for say, oh, maybe I'm a babani, me a seamstress, me a hairdresser. I'm person to me contribute to SNET. It be kakaka or me darching tea. Me pacho, when you register, we are now open say contributions. And you can do that on your phone. You just have to dial *711 *9#, *711 *9#, and then you make your contributions. Honest SNET in income 0302 611 622. 0302 611 622. Na Monshan, my main command's naming come away, and Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando, a NDC MP for the people of Joaboso constituency, I know Western North region, was I a ranking member on the Health Committee in Ghana's Parliament. Honorable Akwaba Ekosiisen Suni.
Obi Mejoso.
Na Apomi a dear. Edanyame pa. Enra, I remember say you go so di kolebu dialysis and semi home common na almost statement na eba beto bia. When your statement ni bia kan? Me pacho I told saying
me say obi eye bibi emfa konem na ye hu akiri na opese otwisan. Na emom de o man fan kan ho e wo so mo de ka ho a amene ya press release in this obi bia ya gini sika yes 765 Ghana cedis no also somebody sika man there should be a refund.
Oh, and the reason is that na enye amount of parliament approval, right?
Illegal send am no di ho komana mboa okay. Okay, nti sene enra chi ne enra me edi ho nkomo no na me nim se edi ho nkomo nti na e ko sha ase free pin no me mo mu kakra
no problem
and then be na 9 years and na me nsa and the beto just say kolebu for dialysis on person moje 765 Ghana cedis per dialysis nti na omo to move from 380 to 765 nti ba abonten no Omo PRO ne ba bontin ebe justify, take note. There was a justification by the PRO. And justification there was nothing like, oh, a proposal then call parliament no. The justification was to the effect say I was a man for 2 years Africa where free say. A buying not exemptions I walk the importation of those reagents and their equipment and whatnot. A buying is exemptions everywhere, number one. Number two, import what do you call it, procurement cover na komo no aban a year free ho any inflation akosoro nti omo fi say e wo so omutum nti e ba sa na me ka kire omo say wait a minute the kind aban bia wo man bia so no wa say dey so be guarantee good healthcare, quality healthcare for your people. The etosu no public health facility like Kofi Adams Kolebu Teaching Hospital no more objective and yet profit making. It is quality healthcare delivery. The etosu beam I was buying who say the ono be ya rema sa unit not me run 24 hours biano. I was buying you. Emum samu was challenges we nyina na mbetumi abayanim bi nyina ya tena se ni adwen ho ni ehu kwan e befa so a e bedi pressure beto aban so no aye the needful na enam se omoye health facility e public one nti no omuntumi entena ho enfixe wonom fees de omopebia I was say idea regulated by the Fees and Charges Act, and from where I sit no yeah approval is omonje 767 Ghana cedis no. So it was illegal to start with. They should stop it and so fortunately enough, I'm saying you know say nanopa. And no more press release according to the press release on the Bible until they can not say discussing the ane kosoa in Yandu Parliament near the day. Of course it's an afterthought because those Niemano kind of press release in the mono was not part of the submission of the PRO of Kolebu in the initial stages.
Oh, okay.
Because he was forcefully justifying the 765 no. In Tinanka, the honorable thing to have been done, they say, oh, yeah, pacho, I'm paying na obia what treaters can be an ebia bedusika and now says, oh, but be more on the bimo homiano 2-3 times a week.
Yes.
The last week, Utia. 765 and next week ebia ba untiesika but what I say ukra receipt manka enono akoyie but to say what they said in their press statement no it's an insult but of course the comedian me nti what it means is omojai omonye side ni bium but the omonfanka so be a watwe bitia yasa and omonfantikama
omon refunding the sikama no
yes with immediate effect
yeah but I mean kudos to you and your colleagues for the advocacy, you know. But going forward, because I read from Omu's statement, they say, but for even the support from Fair Sky Group, Omono Etria at least one dialysis treatment for 200 patients every week. And yes, really going forward, no, because again, say a born 380, you know. If every other thing cost right, no intimi remain stagnant. There be also umutimi etum to take care of some cost to be near running the place. Going forward, no, how do we deal with this issue permanently? I be ensure say here for no mu any bia mu here sa treatment no. Umbetmenya some sustained treatment we are facilitating.
Fantastic. Ayankomodia I was a cost for some time. But cost no the discussion
okay.
The first thing we should be thinking about and should be talking about is access. So if you know could be a crown to actually now call the whole of Western region and our Western North, not dialysis machine and
yeah, and indeed they been here.
Yes, they been here. That's the truth.
Okay.
In this bank so a fakra na not the access in just say it's meaningless. So to start with, no, I don't think I'll be buying no share the replacement of health equipment in the existing health facilities. So I will start buying retooling the various health facilities. Now modern equipment. And at least I need no. Obi. Every district hospital must have a dialysis machine. I need a crowd.
Yeah.
Because experts say renal patients no among population, among numbers no Ekosoropa. You say a whole district need one. Now say free there, even the management of the cost I shall say for
yeah.
So I buy a said say public health facilities no better equipment ama wono. It is a wood giant massa public health facilities nankasa ko na arrangement with Abia Phillips. Now with the machine ba no mutua car. That's where the cost no be cost.
Yeah.
First and foremost no there should be a clear policy say yem faster machines no any others no emfa emra. After no. Then we are coming to talk about the cost. The cost, it is either so okay. At the end of the year, 380. ABF in the Ekokran, wow, Okohobia and 100 cities. Now I say I heavily subsidized, but what did they make? Say
sure.
And now so say, you absorb me now. Now you share the various avenues between the IFR, but anchor without blinking an eye. The first scheme that comes into mind is National Health Insurance Scheme. But
no.
But the National Health Insurance Act we have in this country, we are pretending say your National Health Insurance Scheme. Why do I say so? Obi, we are open investigation of a National Health Insurance card, now they call hospital. You really some our bill, you have co-payment. Say betia. If you are service providers no separa and I will share. If you are syrup no, or more market ecotoni if you are 5 Ghana cities. Tariffs near one National Health Insurance for list so no, 3 Ghana cities. If you call service providers always mini para. Into all more para kwa na 3 cities because we are 25 cities. Are you following?
Yeah.
So the unrealistic tariffs now, was a no. A good scheme, no. A good scheme, no. So what the BMA can want, you are just a addition keke.
Yeah.
Because already the vehicle is not strong. I can't be first one, you make me a D1 come. Now I am strong. Okay. Obi, I mean, admittedly, Obi, there's a gap in the funding of the healthcare, the National Health Insurance scheme. Now, before we convincing me, who catch them said there's a gap. I will oppose it, and I'll tell you why.
I didn't hear.
In 20, maybe 1 year, example. What catch them say what the National Health Insurance levy? Now, National Health Insurance levy now, in 2023, OJ 5.7 billion. So if there's a gap, the also we say, also we use 5.7 billion in a year. No say, oh, the kind of crown soon, Yampa Panya, the first will raise extra. You see, we'll be looking at the extractive industry, the miners, the oil, new kind of extra, you will raise extra. But out of the 5.7 billion, you are giving the scheme 2.7 billion. And you government, in the name of capping, will fight about 3 billion. Then we are the catch them say there's a gap. Where is the gap? We are. All the catch them say there is a gap. Meanwhile, no, in the name of National Health Insurance, it's going back to the consolidated funds.
But for the purposes of this argument, Honorable say, let's even assume say a buying at the 5.7 in our scheme now. Will it be adequate to meet scheme commitments in
to me meet commitment in say family scheme commitment 100% no. The other man is say able to meet 50%. What did you man able to meet 80%? What did you man a good faith into the we are now coming to sit around the table. Near require better so you be raise it be a 20% mark.
Yes.
But to start with, mother than what is the guarantee say you declare the car who be my woundy? Am I making sense?
I get you.
Yes. The moral right to come and tell anybody say at the end of Krano, and I will object to it. Make him on any day. Because already
that is if there is a proposal say you increase NHIS premium I
will object to it, meet him. Because the education you are capping it. And it doesn't make sense to cap the health sector. In fact, even the internally generated funds in the various health facilities, public health facilities, you have been the central government, internally generated funds.
Asempa FM.
So before,
but some hospitals, but honorable, hospitals, so maybe they might have played a role in that because more IGFs, no. Really, the management of the IGF, no, a raising cause for concern, no, because you realize that some of these hospitals make huge IGFs, but the slightest problem, you go there, they tell you, say, when the skinny, they want to rely on central government to still bring funding for them to fix the minutest of problems at our hospital. And what will government do?
Say, if they are mismanaging their IGF, solution is for Scandinavian Mamindikwa. Is that the solution? You as government, these are public institutions. Put measures in place to check them and make sure, say, Omu use IGF for its intended purpose. You have to put measures to check them. You will say, okay, IGF will more expansion, way. Nemo and so I do the camo. But is that a solution?
Yeah, but it can also be said Monfamremi was center. If you need anything, because you write to me already anyway, timer still a keep IGF, you still come back to me. So bring the IGF. If you need anything, come to me and let me provide.
They don't even provide anything in the first place. You don't provide. But you see, IGF no. There was a ANSA. If you think there's an abuse, of course. If is abuse be or what, a system now be good aquam.
Yeah.
Why sure say there was but you don't take it back. But let us not confuse even this one with the discussion.
Yeah.
The main problem they say capping no. Sikana buying extra free national health insurance no. Look, now oko. Now, so, and I say, and I feel where they say. I mean, sometimes it's laughable. Do you know, say, all that they are taking and they are giving, is still an arrears I am telling
yeah.
Now, what they must even be given in 2023 and the in fact, you call rounds and say, you call visit check facilities, you call breakum contechiman call. Brekum, Techiman, and one other. I think one other may refi.
Okay, no problem.
The common idea about out and they say national health insurance delay in payment of claims. Maybe so almost say, what was the last time Amunia Sikanibi almost say February? I know Crampon if you are November crack. You understand? So there are problems and as soon as you can crab about Joko Po Bichel as you say and bona fide property now, no, or your papa by releasing funds to you. What kind of country is this? Joko Pa or finance minister Chow Marco Lobino and son will release money to the scheme. Manaya Juma. How? Can we live in a country like this?
And I want to believe, sir, for MPs, so much share in the NHIS fund. No more.
Oh yes, I can, but a delay.
Oh, okay.
A delay. Just like the claims delay. Let me say. As I speak to you now, if you say me by member of parliament, me see ye krano, I'm on record. Me see ye krano, me see more than 7 compound in my constituency.
Oh,
7.
Okay.
And I can mention the places. So we Antopia, Shemiha, Adekrum, New Somenia, you see back also by you from Africa. You see baby so ewo you from Jato, you see biwo Cantamanto.
Nina Jaboso.
Jaboso, and I'm Jaboso for you, me bois. And that is MP say no more than my dear and this is sure. In fact, at the point in time, it be quite ambulance before government ability to put ambulance.
All right, man, we start this question. If it makes sense, near found common area. And you go so didn't come around this whole dialysis treatment. Somebody came with a very interesting message. Say, Sanka Ekaononkwa, government should convert your friends a COVID levy na yitriano into a cancer and dialysis levy.
Fantastic.
I don't know would make more sense. People would be willing to pay and all of that. Odrin Hussein.
Obi. It's a music dear bassa. Nasa ukasi yentia COVID levy. Bra with this kind of bonus should be health related.
Yes.
You see, I didn't scan on this kind of Kobe, my problem with COVID, I wouldn't say nobody spoke about COVID more than me. And they say, the COVID by sky, and they're spending even 50% in our health sector. And Catisiano, problems when you get me solve. This kind of COVID levy, no. Bisa say, how did they? It goes back to the consolidated fund. You name specific idea. This is scanning. As the idea. Yeah, no, and they buy. Yes, some farm. What they are buying? Okay, scanning. But idea way this scanning. Yeah, they ebia kidney related issues and cancer near the other, and no more brand near the book. It is scanning no ma file. Okay, say naba. That is the machine saying the say no be an idea. But say obedi ni be carry we munti. Ye ba ko consolidated funds ni near the basa. That's what's going on.
Indeed, if the finance ministry should bring a proposal before Parliament, say we want to maintain the COVID levy, but we are changing it from COVID levy now to a cancer and dialysis levy. It is something you are willing to support, Meboa.
Sometimes Minister of Health, you say, the minister of ministry. How can you be pushing somebody into early grave as a country, as leaders, as government, as a ministry? Dialysis is here, okay. Obi, who could just 755 per dialysis. If only here bear 3 within that week, you go beyond 2,000. You are paying more than 9,000 a month. Do the mathematics. I'm a member of parliament, but can I afford that? Are you not pushing the people into their grave? Some anyway. No one type of dialysis treatment is as one tax a year. Now for the past 6 to 7 years, that's how I did your brother and Diabo. I didn't yes, sir. What are we doing to ourselves?
In this Sisiana Kolebu for so more chain. I'm a parliament, I'm a approval answer. No, is it say Parliament is willing to approve an increment in dialysis treatment? No.
Minimum, they are not for approval. Approval for any increment
yeah.
Given the circumstances we find ourselves in now. This current, hardship by you, economic hardship by you. Me, I'm not ready to do that. When you get there, we'll cross it.
Very well.
I'm not ready to do that.
Very well. Honorable, Mama Yanasi, Bibiani, a best member Bidin Komobio. Why?
Yeah,
that's it. Kwabanaminta Kando, Honorable Member for Joaboso constituency, that's in the Western North region, or a ranking member on the Health Committee in Ghana's Parliament. And I'm AD and Komo. We've done some 36 minutes after 4. Make us a General Secretary of the CPP, Abekansa, Ewo Studio, and Anaya Champim Jantua, Ewa, and Che, about 3 days ago, Nebra, Ebaha, Emma, Lawyer Kwame Jantua, Pami, and Hidin Komo, Efa. Tanker Owners Association, as a union and common. And the end, Nanaya Ewa, she is General Secretary for the Convention People's Party. Yeah, she name say Akwetia Starboy, Ernest Yaokumi, Babe Cancer, a member of the NPP National Communications Team. And 2020, he was NPP's parliamentary candidate, Ewa Akwetia. Sounds now called Boem constituency, member of parliament, the Kofi Adams, former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Once Babe Cancer was studio, Hanafe, Yanuuna, Eddie, and Komabana, I see another Aquabana, Mijinese, Apomie.
Abokonya media chain.
Koyi.
It's a great situation. Woman, dear, and Koyi, so fancy. We need choice. What's your CD, Yankupon, dear Chewy, dear, na, or dear Seda, and then Tonto, dear man. There's a minu Aquame bar.
Oh, you're bad. So, okay, Tanker Owners.
Some mammy Honsole was my car. You are bad, dear, and some of them solely, mammy. Very good afternoon. Minia Coupe. I know you're Uniakitwa. There be a minia penny. Mina me on my last born. Oh, okay. There's a man at the home. Was in Crowfish, I know we say. Is that your sister? Or see yes, or see it's when Pemi wants a more. Yeah, so anyways, me say utie Alan event ni be Monday no. Oh, metie, but utie speech no. Oh, me tie. Hey, Matie de ekoso nyina.
Uhu na yere ne ye bibi besi no uhu ni.
Obi a ye bibi besi nya na ye mekwa me ye bi wo me dem.
Sa.
Oh. The bibi besi wo be free nkrofo yi ho.
Se free de we free.
O mata ne ni a chese de okasa na onya nuru ho. To wo ka mo ka bibi besi nya na ye twen de besi na ode to ho bam.
Ezi we fi MPP mu.
No woko.
Na uji di so mata ne ni.
Oh, na minyi ni sen.
No mata ne ni wo kwan.
We de just obi ka just ya tala ne ni. There's a mistake or yeah ni sen so ko GMP.
As in like all free mono.
There be before no.
E o san kokọ parliament.
O san kokọ parliament.
Na nko timi nya constituency in the party.
Yes, san kokọ adwoso. Wokọ o pe asante achem
baby
eko. What they say? I mean Ashanti region the offer baby anko benya. Yes.
That was a mistake on the spot.
Oh yes, and they mean I can. Even Crampo nanka 2 after 208 no.
Yeah.
It's a sanko or parliament. Go better so watch it.
And I can sanko di benya base.
Oh, go di benya base pa. What I say? Next is all parliament.
In the one core parliament now we're making this move, no. That's a move we no miscalculate here.
What miscalculate here? Oh, we go for cancer baby obi ya sha say dia ma me fanchi ama. Wait for na me fanchi so ma wa hwefo Facebook.
Amojo so.
Na me fanchi me mucha say me hu wa check akra me fanchi ama wa ankasa so.
Okay.
What miscalculate you obi ohun ewi ase no. Se wo ho na bibi nkoyi a. Group dynamics. O kuom na wani nyia sometimes say ekuo nanimu ngwase nti wo de ho
okay
obeye ho saa na edu ba bia amen so wo hwe the last election ya as if say bibia was skewed to make sure say Alambe lose
election there here na okay
super delegate
oh I don't know kasa
na so tie nkrofo comment ne mo mo ya se nipa 28 akoto aba ye tu nipa ba ko ani inti sakese no so to abade ne beti inti me sure me mete obi so ofre no need din komo analogy of the mind so on person obi abepra bio inti better say obetena nchen no a pursue me what the kronti a obi nkofo ete o mo kasakasa they should leave chief na on pursue whatever he wants to pursue baby e bedru bia yo no ane this chief nya akola.
Even if the move would be destructive to the fortunes of the party he was a founding member of.
Until me found the BB Crampone ya Jeffrey unsem nenzo e. And as okwa we sit down. Utimi wuja ho. Okwa asa be you be there. Into the contribution be ye be said that ho. Say so ye founding member. So ye beginning member. So ye den you and matter because of and I believe and I hope we say all my young convincing the man and go back.
Oh, how?
How saying?
Now the party for corner 9 some penny for corner 9.
And penny for and no one can answer me. Apart from go jump in, what you be our can once and papa. Time and none in some by Obi and Yayantiha or Tro Krata call ya Obi Fino. They took him for granted into a jaya. I don't see why they should leave it as it is.
But you think they took him for granted? And Ryan, Council of Elders chairman didn't come. Also, they engaged them. The party's elections committee is in the process. Disciplinary committee.
Say, Kennedy Japan so me church fly. No be church fly. No sure so na sum no so sure oso ni huni. That is the point.
Nana ya onim mama simami no messing about hosis here na me no watwa so dialysis in common ani the CEO of Health Insurance Authority the Dr. Bernardo Koboy aba homa no so person will make some quick input doc akwa about saying
Obi
Dr. Bernardo Koboy
too much
no we brutal say
Ghana Dominic Pena always chill.
Mijiri se bibi aboko.
Nyakubadom ni nana ya jantwa ni mpaibo bibi aboko.
Yedanyame ase. Na ene dialysis nkomo aye di I think suggestions are started, but Ebeya Kranka NHIS intake over na Yemfanka scheme no Yarea Mutimi Eshan. Is it something I more consider?
Obi, first of all, my main chair of panelist, main chair for me now. The American say national insurance since a buyer taking care of about 95% of all diseases that our Ghana has. So 5% now insurance and cover no baku kidney or renal dialysis. I know some cancers like breast cancer, they are on health insurance. But prostate cancer, for example, is not on health insurance. So it's one of the 5% that we don't pay for. Some mental conditions and other blood disorders like hemophilia and anemia is not covered by insurance. Now, Sebi, appointees, by Wemua, team health insurance, board. The last time I share, a formula and a budget eco parliament. Me suggesting one particular fund or line, the peripheral diseases fund. No, just as you were MPs, Sebi, Sika Yamo from insurance, or Modibua health, or consent, Sika Webe Bois, departments, or Moshe Yaria, any health insurance.
Okay.
So that a better Buama subsidy and our cost not conform. But when we appeared before the health committee, our senior brother, another candle here ranking, so it's a wonderful idea. But problem want to say, it looks like anytime there is any challenge, health insurance wants to shoulder it. And that the ministry must also take charge and try and shoulder some of the things. So in their mind, there should be a policy from the top. But for now, the insurance money say you call duty, you say you share the bills of benefits are cover. Now, Obi, what I would say is and you're questionable. Say Obi Yaria, Sebi, there was someone so this car now it's not proper. And it is not also true that we as a country cannot come together and get this thing addressed. Sometimes strong partisan politics, and let me explain. When President Kufuor was president of this country, our the health insurance buyer, levy Sayeji in the name of health insurance because Emrani say Enco consolidated fund and sana ya transfer abahanin Ubeshenu any 100% of the levy and ebaha. If you want 70%, 80%.
Yeah.
So 20% now banu. Ube una buying their share no how far and they are solving other problem. President Mills buy obedi president. Mama buy Ubeshenu the wababo dia 90%. Obit me 60% of the disbursement. And the Yempan say Oji health insurance tax nego do 4 billion. Now I pay 2.5 yamaye 1.5 Now they are grading road kakra Obi. Because now the law also says that all the money must be transferred after a period, I think 30 days. And the minister must come back to give accounts of the monies collected. This law has not been obeyed by any finance minister since the Fourth Republic. Now, I'm being honest. If we want to solve our problems, we have to be frank. So what happens is that based on finance minister no although our health and I say nothing now what percentage ends up coming to us. I didn't call it discretionary. Okay. And so now about 50%. This year the estimated collections I think is about 4.8 billion. Allocation AMI initially was about 2.9 or 3 billion. The allocation was about 50% of the projected amount that will be collected. The rest of the money, MPs now approving disbursement to other places. Obi. Now, because we have a gap, it becomes very difficult to convince some people say we need to collect more, like Akando is saying.
Yes.
But guess what? If we are not frank and deal with the matter head on, my MPP ninti mimpa body say Anka don't check Akamomba. But so power, Obi, you will call me on the show and ask me, so Koboy, what is happening? Health insurance is not getting their money. Until we make the law rigid such that a finance minister cannot touch even the dime of the amount collected. So G5 billion in Abebaha, the conversation becomes perennially partisan.
Yeah.
Obi, I'm bro for no, I'm sorry. Now, what we have to do as a nation is to be true to ourselves. Sir, close to 3 billion now, Yaji in the name of insurance. I am from Bahano. Ubeshenu, it is a gap government is trying to close. We have to find other places to close that gap. Now, for other places so that if the law is made rigid, for example, if Parliament compulsory law say any finance minister who does not disburse all, it will take only 1/5 of Parliament to remove him or her. Or in common way, it will come to an end. But as we speak, I'm speaking as a patriot, as a citizen. Even whether MPP or NDC, until you make the law rigid, just as it has happened from Kufuor to Mills to Mahama and now, you will not get all the money. Obi, we have to decide, how do we get all the money? Or we can say that, okay, nobody is able to be rigid with the law. Let's find another way to take care of all diseases outside health insurance. What can we do? For example, we can have a levy on only one item for Chemi, but there were some items at Sebi, the poor man will not go near it. There were items via Sebi, Obi and Yamia Siano, and a Sebi winning sort of. For example, Obi V power, and you be an Sebi, ultimate V power. But what I say?
Sure.
And you can Sebi car or Kitano, and you for Biane Kum. And Sebi over Chemi, be a dear Abia, your ordinary man be an audition how far. But whiskey do a Obi won't even talk. You can find only 2 items and put even 50 pesos on it and say that this is a sin tax or it's a tax which goes only into peripheral disease like chemotherapy and kidney disease. So that there will be nowhere Obi Awako Kolebu until even a dime. We can bring it to an end as a nation if we engage in frank conversation. But until we do that, this unconscionable sight of Obi Koha Aye charging Iskano, it must come to an end. Emergencies should not take even 1 Ghana cedis. It has been done elsewhere. We can do it. But if a candor speaks like this, and someone speaks unlike me, tries to be partisan with MPP, in the next 20 years, you still face these problems. Obi, finally, recently, Mikatia will say, hospitals do a hop, or what did this guy on perform watch it? And who started to health insurance on best officers can it?
Yeah.
And the sunshine policy so that anyone who takes money from here, others will know. A pharmacist came to me and said, Doctor, since you started this policy, payments have improved by over 1,000% because they know we know what they get. Obi, 2 problems exist as we speak. Even if Okoboy pays hospitals and they refuse to go and pay for the drugs they receive from the Greater Accra medical stores, guess what happens? The medical stores is unable to pay Kinafama, Farmanova, and the rest. And so Uber call hospital, drugs in Niho. APIA is not because we are not paying, but there is not a strict law that binds or punishes a hospital who fails to pay the regional medical stores when they receive their drugs, Obi. It's a chain. And in a meeting, I mentioned to some of the supervisors of Ghana Health Services in page 40, say, everybody must be up and doing. If you leave someone in Sola Anawa, 1 man is Kano, the open or the year, supervision is the key. When I was board chairman for Kolebu, I did 1 monumental structural amendment. Until I went to Kolebu, heads of departments did not report to the CEO. They were reporting to Dean of Medical School. And their department, Pena Oye, it took board leadership to make sure that law, that the law which says board appoints was effected. And so now, all of them report to him. Someone will say, you had a situation where Obiako pasted you fees are CEO say on
yes.
So Apoma is my senior brother. He went to Presec, so I'm careful with him. But the point is that Kolebu is a big place. But if you don't stamp the authority and let people know that you hold the big cane,
yeah, it's true.
So this country, every appointee, not only the minister, must wake up and make sure that, look, recently we had a seminar with all hospitals in Ghana. And some of the medical soups say, Usha, Sika Etia for your services, no, and yet proper, and so, and Amika won't say, Oko boy, I have declared on our tariff list how much I pay for malaria. If you think it is not enough, and you need to charge 30 Ghana cedis more, be bold and honest. Put that charge on a list. Let the world know. So that when Obi calls me, I'll tell Obi, hospital way, Wakoka minister, say, Okobo 250 cedis for malaria, and so into the 30 account. But that is not what happens. People who are manning government facilities decide to take some charges which have not gone to parliament. So I explained to some of the MEPs who said, I have been an MP before. Because you run facilities which are not your own or private, charges must go to fees and charges committee.
Of course.
That is where the people's rep will be convinced as to why they have to allow those money. And Toby, we can fix our problem. If me can say if I were health minister, but this business of money for how to fund renal and all that, we can do it. The discussion must only be honest. I was in Kenya. In Kenya, their health insurance fund is 95% funded by workers in the country. Taxes account for only 5%. It's the opposite in Ghana. In Kenya, when they pay OB's salary of, let's say, 5,000, 5% goes straight to the fund. And so the fund is robust. When they pay Okoboy 15,000, 5% goes to the fund. So the fund is robust. So in Kenya, they even pay sometimes for kidney transplant. What happens in Ghana? Okoboy pays 8 Ghana cedis a year for health insurance because I'm a SNIT contributor. And guess what? It is 2.5% of my SNIT. Now I charge you, maybe I have 500 and 80 health insurance. And you can get a fast SNIT after Binsa and Sanabedruha. We must engage in bold conversations and we can fix all these issues.
One last thing, and it's a Basse ministry, no, your friends, NHIS, NHIL contributions, no, na omutimi at the 100% and a 95% cry a bremoa. Then we can begin looking at say mobile add renal care no to more list of diseases na.
Obi sent to Makase and lawyer. It's really sharp. If we get all of this money, if not all, if we get 80% of the levies collected in the name of health insurance, this country can pay for kidney, can pay for cardiothoracic surgeries, can pay even for radiotherapy. Let us have all the money come in. And then after the payment, we can have a frank conversation and say that after paying everything, we realize that we need just about 5% more of the amount. Which ways do we get our money? That is the way to go. Otherwise, a politician who wants power will tell you, don't take any money. Our processing fees, let the Amika say 8 Ghana cedis. We pay 8 Ghana cedis for SNIT contributors, and Obi, we pay 27 Ghana cedis for non-SNIT. And so Obi Oye said the shoemaker, on SNIT, no premium for healthcare for a year, from malaria to Sebi Nimbadi 24 Ghana cedis. And Obi, this is the charge or the fee we have been charging for the past 13 years. Do you know why? Who yet said the only parliament fair? Hey, health now charge you know. Who named the chroma eshi? Now they are too. So we charge the same fee for 13, 14 years. We have to decide what we want to do with our lives. It is sad that someone will cry and will struggle. Obi, me, my cousin said me die politics, or suffer. So when I see hardship, I can't sleep. And that is why we had a board meeting at Health Insurance and NRA, and we discussed quickly to bring a document out on how to pay for this. Shebi, just really speaking, health insurance, our mandate is not to show Sebi, how to pay for other things.
Yeah.
But all of us must come on the table, and we can rescue our brothers and sisters. Sebi, me can't be say, who need die now? Who shut down? Why not die for 48 hours? Nyami buawa. On the third day, you can find a place to sleep. You will not die. But if they rush you to the hospital and the state cannot save you, Obi, my mother died of a heart condition when I was in Germany about 12 years ago. If she were in Germany or any other country, she would have been still alive. So some of us, we have been victims of these chronic terminal conditions which are left to the patient to handle. It should not remain like that forever. We have to work together.
Fantastic. Doc, medase. Bibiani ebesen ba bedin komobio.
Thank you very much.
Medase. Dr. Bernardo Koboy, a CEO, National Health Insurance Authority, and I want to see AD and Komo. I've received quite a number of messages, including a statement from the South African High Commission, Ghana. Now, there is some good news for Ghanaians across South Africa. I'll share that statement with you in a moment. But we say, notwithstanding the fact that finance ministers tend to use part of the NHIL receivables for other reasons, the data shows that in 2022, there was 0 million cedis released to NHIA. The problem, Obi, is Ken Ofori Atta, lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, Director Legal Affairs, NDC, and all the way. Aba Obi, say hello to my youngest sister, Nanaya Jantua. She's really hit the nail right on its head. My humble advice to the NPP is to take a cue from Malan's resignation and make sure the super delegate election is done devoid of any intimidation and manipulation, not to incur the wrath of Kennedy Japan. If Kennedy Japan, God forbid, becomes after losing the election, the butterfly cannot kill the elephant, but the ant called Chachu in Ewe will certainly kill the mighty elephant Kojoto. Nana, ano, ami here. Unim no. Oh, unim nana no ami here. Hey, wow.
Minim Cabral Blay ami here.
Yeah, we nana no ami here. Yeah. Obi, good afternoon. Yeah, what's up, Dr. Okoboy has said it all as far as the way forward to add all those health-related issues to the NHIA. But tell him Goyle sells its V-Power, which is RON 95, same as RON 92 price. So he should change the revenue vehicle. Thank you. Alhaji Ismaila Ewo Achem Oda Ediwe Abrain. A happy birthday to Peter Bosrochi, Manager HR Risk and Operations, GCB Bank PLC, and the manager HR Risk and Operations, Peter Bosrochi. Happy birthday to you. Nana auntie for anusina mema honorable akwa. Dialysis no. Okay. You be dey home come. Your main issue. Yeah, into the yenye alande no.
Into then na me kan me say wo mo ye wo mo suban ne se ne wo si aye ne basai. Ne se Ken so turning into an ant or a church flyer. Let's just say yes, wo no wu. Because they say the ekwe ala no my say can sem bi say na ala no kono no okọ ene ye mfa ho wonfa ho. Ala is a stalwart. Asem asi ebi asida 79 enye obi say me de na miswade ne so na me ho. Otimase UNC Oforiata Nana Adre ne General Secretary. What's in free PFP Victor? A we in CPP for your firm. Meka there was a negotiation na omushia say UNC. The man in 10 on one Rameka PFP when Victor and win the election. NC.
I said that election now more CPP so more parties now more doors.
PMP. Near the PMP.
Yes, but now there were other splinter groups from the CPP tradition in that election.
Only after that one, when after your friend is saying, after the Kuna be, but we yes 79
short elections.
And elections nearby, and it's near your firm. Ultimately, BSC say no on the other side, no split aba. Na se niema ni sia on MPP for we no no niema ni sia o ma yo ho se de bia no o mo blind eye
obi aka hwe ya
obi aka eno ni asem no nti bi o mo be ye bia na akopem levy same thing on me. No consultation, nothing. Yeah, sorry, I see a call IMF, no consultation, nothing. Woma yom who say kwa Nancy, and omukute kuku ni si woman nom di frudia. As a bow kuku no bow woman, and almost one dinyansa, coin in a shame no mudi frudia. Alan in Tekuma, or catch it almost omunti mean fa kuku ni frudia, as so muteki a cue from it. I don't think it ever occurred to them say Chief Ubejaye at the end. They took him for granted, and that is why they take everybody for granted. They have even taken Ghanaians for granted. Trust me, see on that list. Minya, se wunim sa die yimu a worebe ho. That
is the ebeba ho nti me pese origin we.
Me, I am telling you, say omo fa Ghana for ho ba ku se nti omo feel so betimi atwiti obi ani hahwe. And obi me call Laboni na me rehoye.
Laboni.
Yes. As a public servant, me tina Laboni flat him. Let me share. Me name ba. And I me moving to Laboni Bangalo. Now that enclave no Kwame Nkrumah arrangement or ye and say all man ton assassin ahimfo na ton assassin ama no into it was to be kept as civil servants quarters.
Yes.
Wouldn't say ne wo ma ton a wo musi apartments. I mean, today I felt so sad. And I'm saying, me, it's now for almost 16 to 17 years. It never even crossed my mind as a mentor. It never even crossed our minds. Near our association, nobody. Rather, no crana buying credit CC and near this CC because we saw it to say, Ghana there. And I'm more buy a mabeto. Obi, why is that?
Omato.
Omato is to see apartment. Why not? And yet I buy a beton whoever. Now, who's uncle for your motiway? Say obi men or beton dynama, but to think say those days they could talk against it.
Yeah, but sometimes we say buying through compulsory acquisition, edge assassin bia. Ebia will develop assassin a part, not part be undeveloped.
Paper your part, a dance so.
And no buegu.
Yes, one more buna majo. What the patch of moon taking a triple call. Omo bu na nadwe so utimu kra na aka be 1 year mo akọ pension na wo ma ye de o ma beje hwe si aton ni nya na me feel say ho de be preserve ekuro bia wo be koso bia no aban wo dan wo de ma ne workers wo ba ya wa ma mesi bi de o so a wo be ton afa obf because a prime area ntino e dan back wo mesi apartment meanwhile so wo si obi aye bi you were speaking against it. Emma Ghana for nya sorry said the work and I power bebe no ye the same as what fire see ye den.
Okay.
Be seriously speaking, this government does whatever they like. Omo care about Ghana for. I don't know so more mechanism be omo de win election to omo fu so be break it by Obi. I'm telling you, if there is a God whose name is Yahweh. If there is a God whose name is Jehovah. I won't person be taking Ghana for granted. He will speak.
He will speak.
He will speak. I'm telling you, the blood of Jesus will speak. Nobody should joke with this. Because you cannot be in government. I am aware. Say, who share Ghana for so? Now, would decide that's how we get the op.
The blood of Jesus will resist the breaking the 8 agenda.
Alan Crab, I resist your mom.
Oh, into Alan break away, no, yes. The final nail.
Who's almost baby? Into Adiana, no more lose dada.
And Alan
so my dear, omo di Alan ade ni dia grow. Oti ase nipa bi wo ho a wo obi ho wo do man o, but because of ye ehu bi nti no wontimi nsho meka bibi a chew me your body language expert bibi koso me no kasa the first thing I make sure your body language asama o ka je me ntie your body language will tell me exactly what you are thinking. They all canning in Amintio. There was a program, His Excellency Baumia was saying, say, me ni diatem, na diatem dear, and yet. But I was watching the body language of everybody around him. Some were on their phone, some were sitting unconcerned. And I'm like, if people are enthusiastic around somebody, or can be binukwa politics near you know. Ubeti say omu show bibi. Some were just on their phone. And this was on television. I was watching. I'm saying, why is it that as if everybody around is aloof?
They all can all kagu.
That is what the environment I saw. Mimi who na make count.
Sure.
Into won't mean take Alan for granted. Besides, the chief, no start you. Chief on the number for chief or ne crop for. Sir, Musi chief won't fabi be a ma. Yan fan the so causes and crop for free, mia, and a bad resignation. A hoye amount.
Hall, yeah.
What's I say?
Yeah.
And Yenny Paber 10 be the call you. Samusha ne yere Auntie Patricia the way ya woye den.
Vim
because oba oni ni kunu atifi wo hu se ya hye ni kunu no so. Intis because I can't change say ne chief ade wunyai. But ene se ni kunu atimi aba out ababa be jaya. Ne che se ni gie bi woni mu because only the first point of call if chief is unhappy. Obe Kofi. Into obi akasa ne yiri of him because of fu se ne ni kunu na liberated. The dear Benton and Mutan, who free be a woman, a yen, chief when you be a cassepio, some munche, as some a shannon swam of free anoka, and on a chesse or be a dear ashen. I'm a chief who creates me as a leadership, no one very careful they will more canon was and yes, I obey me to almost boot for boot. Chief is not like that, so we name chief on Tessa, but a yaubi. Nanko for Casa then or Casado or Casad Munyano no Casa. Me menyan ko be Casa the whole week. Maybe be a shame would be a free. There be MPP for one names and ye see treating ni pampo. Obi bufu. That's all money ye din a what trouble. Obi bufu manen Casa. Manen cut your pebia onko. Because I was on a press conference replied. It's on Mujano no Casa. Or Casa. A drew point you are best settle. Oba press conference she ano na Ekosiisen because nipa no okwawie na we Alan onye nipa obi frame ye see ye no be frame no say Alan ne ko nam say say ne ye okwa wo was Alan is a stalwart nam say wunim so ye stalwart nam tuti ano no no say na ye famisi ya nam say wunim so ye stalwart and am treating the way am treat Alan is not
ne resignation e benya replaying effect bi wa Ashanti region na
enya say ba jo enya say one of your sister stations, some call Vox Pop. Some of the people are saying, don't better I'm a chief.
Chief Alan.
Yes, Chief Alan. Man. You see, they shouldn't take that thing for granted. Though. This is somebody I will need to Kumasi. Papa is a cultural center.
We see cultural center.
We see cultural center. We need room when you know baby a Ashtown. What I say, ye in Chifri Ashtown in Murom. What I say, ye crow from Kumasi, Ashanti region. A Josu. Ye almost a fancy in a quarter pen a fancy. Obin Bopo so more bono by propaganda of you, Alan Crown, or Nekota. Nekota ne fancy. In the chief for you be as a Ashanti region assembly can be a chief with you free fear mapa, or free fear p.
Or targeting a campaign or Ashanti region.
Me no kwanka hon kwa na meko.
Sir?
Onu kro no wo yo. Because na say no achi mi hu so keka bibi say party our build. Party be our build. The adwiri ko. Wa build the nhwe achi. Fom man behave say Lot's wife o. Wa medane nchene.
Onye ne campaign or Ashanti region.
Onye ne campaign or Ashanti region. On tena ho.
And your man NPP lose.
Na so on to am say so mo win. The NPP no ma lose that than to be lose more.
Okay. Nana ya mama nase mama Robo Kofi Adams akwaba Ora wala kwaba let's say
I say more than a lot.
Man me that lot wife me henechi
on the nchini.
Eh aso na na ya
she looks back.
Oh god.
She looks not so Domingo Moral. Lost wife, she looks back. She turned to a pillar of salt. She's turned into a pillar of salt. She turns to a pillar of salt. Yeah, tomorrow
Honorable Kofi Adams. Bibi aboko there.
Enyeboko.
Sa.
Crack.
Na some men esi obuem.
Na edikaima minchia witi for any enuanuma ye shawa na ya Ernest anyone can so.
That's it.
Me ba no mitie wo kakra.
Okay.
Ansa na meko buem kra. Ma mitie na wo ka bibi fa motorway.
Sure.
Problems aba ho. Enne mrantie bi omoye Uber drivers I on why say the way omo cars say the way traffic ufri them aside back towards Accra just because of motorway as say yenye bibia hunti de bia na traffic na cars be for so many hours until na omunye ejuma omobekwa akoye den communal labor
until Uber drivers na airfield
two Uber drivers mo station Joy FM reported on it in their midday news bra no mu ye ejuma no kra no omo say police for be ekọ pamon say omonko but nyamene no kreni because of a juma omuye nti ama traffic flow no move because cars no slow that section ni biom but me wa sembika your vice president Dr. Baumia or the promise of concrete road construction or the Kojim Paibo free Lighthouse Chapel. Reverend Dr. Dag Heward Mills ending a soft penny for Omubon Humpaye Eman or prison because that was where he made that promise. Say, on tia sie, tia yenye concrete roads. Na ya dia omoye den omoba beye concrete roads. Minya concrete road ba kwa yewo ho Dr. Kwame Nkrumah eye maye. Aban bebre aba omo manage ni kakra maintain it ene eye neti soil ena ebinumu afa mo de repair motorway under Baumia and another danko Akufo-Addo ene obi a okojira sorry dan o shebo ye bom pa ye manu free adenti na Nyankopon be hirawo enti se nana ya aka se nyame wo hodia Nyankopon be kasano. These are some of the reasons. Ukoshebo. And even questioned the previous administrations of Moabako. Untiasi and Intia Omunye concrete roads in this time. Uba eni ayewo honu, you have not been able to maintain it. Neti soil. And ya even bitumen crowd. Gravels cry ewomu soil ukodua ebro anade say na ebefifi eno na ye de ye motorway sisia because abandon motorway on one abandon ya kwan. If such things are happening on other roads which we see ye tu kwan ye kwa obe hu say udru baby a na nkrofo fili portals are now omojiji kakra understand but motorway 2-lane road says here people have to risk themselves to be filling potholes with soil in a government on vice president to go sorry dying Papa Binoweka also ochoro book bi and when he was launching the book the vice president went there and author book till time now or your press conference or kasano sikano nyede emaye
no so dey for him at all.
I'm just giving you one small other example. So clearly mitie was and you were saying say almost say obi amahon kwan say omunkoya ma omunko. Yes, to a large extent,
the risk it poses.
The risk it poses, that's true. But the risk that the potholes poses in the area even more than the risk that of maintenance was even posing. Kasa assess accidents and crofwenya, prank pra possibly no I'm sure say or more free those accidents are APA as a result of major potholes are APA or motorway.
But more parliament, has there not been a facility or Modiaba Parliament for motorway redevelopment?
I have asked questions, at least 2 questions on motorway. Uba they say Kasana na Mieden Omuka. Once you have a program, program to rebuild it doesn't stop you from maintaining the motorway because unclosely way no. It's still your motorway. Saying omwadie ya omokoye ya ono se omunji tools biom is one of your major tolled routes. And your major toll roads are unya toll pa if you contributes a lot, a very high percentage. So clearly, no, Binia, idea a hardwin.
As the motorway stands now, a better advice I will see a bit closing it down.
Better. Say ya nyehu bibi. You're closing it down a better. But you're closing it down so Hifana nipa befa because a major way. And yet just for Yenkwan, even as a country, and yet just a major way from Nigeria and beyond in Benin, Togo, Côte d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Obia utilizes sa road, so a major road. And yet possible.
An easy decision.
And easy decision. So just say Abino must be responsive and must be responsible. And then simple common portals cry amuntimi nya hu adwuma. How? What they call blame there, even worse. Ya point there, and you look, ya come once and the last time minister by parliament, to some of the questions I maybe say and say 2022, or more are repackaging for some of the routes. It was 2023.
Contract any site.
Nothing. Meanwhile, ya say, ubenya members of New Patriotic Party. Nanko was say almost sorry tia or more banya or no control the infrastructure fund. Almost sorry that they are questioning the member of parliament. May be some questions. Aka wasem ayen ya ose me ya ba be yimiano banya onu no ye responsible no who a member of that party anka wo be sorry I support it, maybe even with DC I support to MP that you the pressure to a non-performing government, so no, then you are rather questioning
you the MP,
me the MP, as if say yeah the development fund and yeah G taxes na me na yeah the chairman sir.
In the meaning, as we speak, no, there is no road project ongoing in Buem constituency.
In Buem constituency, there is nothing.
Not even happening. One.
Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening.
Hey.
Nothing. The Eastern Corridor, yeah, Omedema, this highway,
sure.
And no, a mukeke.
And your my chem.
Oh, Miss, no, far through.
Yeah, like
any part of the Buem constituency routes. Any part of Buem constituency routes. Any part of the Buem constituency routes.
Oh, okay.
A just highway higher than a trim. And the Ushes are highway no. Now the Buem constituency routes are it is a woofy a sea Ediako Ejum market. The noise level. Say when him say cemetery, unless a Mukwa could see you be a son of Betty de cry a war. But baby, I ton yama, a jum, the debia, a bit more bo or mobiles, a bit that's the difference. Say, just Sikana a constituency capital. Constituency capital. There's not a single good road in 2020. And omo say omo the town road section be the ma contractor be be say na ye hu contractor no. Ye nim contractor no me be say DH afre regional urban roads director say we want to just know the name of the contractor ye the contract in amano ye hu bibia
e wo ja second
town roads afa die ni ayeti enu say bibisa minister who questions so almost you yama contract and also yen sign it afa no mu prepared to sign. That was the answer the rules minister gave me. The regional minister also came and gave information, said, after the contract and your far process are terminated. And they will now repackage it to be re-awarded. Acquire under the previous administration, ye demand a kukurus and baby na ya terminate. So that is the situation. That's the real situation. Make us say I'm talking with a lot of pain in me. The way I want to treat the people of Buem when it comes to roads. Maybe if a highway HMO ever to really look, the only towns make us say roads are through. Just maybe sometimes a few meters, and yeah, even up to a kilometer, because Kruna Kasa share one side they take a crabia, maybe a main road in the Befam, then you see it just passing through NTA, boom, 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 boom. But internal roads are from various communities to the center in the constituency. On the portal. So it's worrying. Year of rules 1, year of rules 2, year of rules 3. Now, so nothing.
Honorable Kofi Adams.
Motorway. Vice President Akoshe Boy, you concrete routes.
Okay.
End of your second tenure. This was Boshia Eba even earlier in the first term. You Google it, you get the information.
Very well, Honorable. Me that's it. We just your preliminary comment. That's it. I'll come back to you and then we deal with the substantive issues. We say, Obi, please don't allow Nanaya Jantua to distort the history. William Oforiatta did not split from PFP to form his party, UNC. He and other Progress Party allies formed UNC way earlier than PFP was formed by other Progress Party folks. There was no split. I'm surprised a whole CPP General Secretary would not know of this basic historical fact. Kwame Ajimedu and Odiwe Abba. We say Obi, regards to Nanaya Jantua, hey Nanaya, the battle is the Lord's. Evans Nimakon or MPP Director of Elections. Odiwe Abba. We say Mame Efia Akoto. Mame Efia Akoto says, Obi, I sometimes get surprised how Nanaya does her politics. She should be more concerned about her own political party and leave us to take our own decisions. Tell her, or say, okay, very well. Mamema, Ernest Yaukumi, Akwetia Starboy, Apa better saying,
Yamede Minia,
Bibi Ekoye,
Yamadu Yusupa,
Akwetia Boko,
Yamadu Yaboko, na, oh, Nana Yabutre,
messing about,
do so I know
messing about, why? Akwetia
Boko, Obi, na, na say so there. Nyabuche. Obi so is Kofi Adams Ochema there.
Oh sir.
Ochema biology I think a semester or 2 semesters. Yeah.
Oh okay.
What this school.
Oh.
It's me teacher. I know go me bung this ano.
Asema yesi wo Ghana e na ye ka.
Me teacher also wish me here pa no person.
I'm wishing you well.
Anyways. And Uncle Phoebe.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
I have a lot of respect and biases for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I share my dear.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, anyways. Wow.
Just and saying, OJ fans too much.
So, me no better fans. No, me no better fans.
I'm more fans. I'm sorry. No be auntie. And I'm ya na kwezi say we dey Drew.
Oh, there.
Yes, I'm Pentecost. I can't we dey Drew.
Me man reason ti a OJ fans.
Man reason.
Nka wo so be gi bi bet. Baby, our question.
Why
you trying to distort?
One question, baby, Papa. And see, more fans now. Don't say fans. One question, baby, born in fans.
Yes, honest. My name is any preliminary comments to make, and I think
Maminchia Nanaya say Machia.
Yeah, yes.
na preliminary comments here the mechanism bana mitie na na ya baby no dey nsem ne nam ne gumbe a obo no na me kwa ambisa mu say enti mami osusu ampa so person chese onimia party kwa history kwa sen ya yeti won na utie ni nsem o kan na chief am say na say nana ya won timi mfa ne personal relationship with chief embe cloudy and your party issues we won't allow that. It's totally unacceptable. So be say we need chief for personal relationship and I say we busua and any relationship I don't just say we betina bedwemu who be too futu egu yen aka na ni say yen your position and your views and to say oh man ka say my dey o nya go say I no say o betina o ka say o betina o ka say so ache nka ne papa mu a somehow Kenya we hu papa bia amfa ni opponents oda ono nko ane de sabi ana hu ye ana person kan ko si se sabi nyame kwantua ye ka se ebia wa resign ye fi party but say nyame dada ya ye nyina ye sum ni dia na onye ti se enipa onye ntwanchia oye nyame a oti afanu so ati ase eti ne wo ka bia no obehwe left center right na wo hu decision de se oboa no sa nipa na nyame den obeboa no tie nya nipa adwen etidin sem na okan bi onto ne bo wo se okan aka kodu baby say ensesen ka party ni kwa ebeyi ano I was surprised baby anana ya ye PR abedui eti honestly that she actually thinks so big cansem cansem na ensem no susu say ensem anipa ne ka no enye no kra I was so kan wanu tu mana I was surprised Nanaya actually knows even reasons and do understand the grounds based on which Yera Lanchemanti are resigning, even more than Yera Lanchemanti himself. How can that be?
Really?
I know you
That's she referred. But honest, she referred to basically in Summer Island, Grounds Island. Okay.
In Summer Island, kind and even Island can't.
Okay.
So what I say, he talks about vilification. Vilification, Kofi Adams netien, Nanaya netie, amanyo sem ayeye ewo kromano. You cannot decouple that from it. And then President Mahama wewu, anasa Akufo-Addo wewu. Because amanyo sem ayeye ewo kromano say no. So be ye the forefront. So be di domo enim kwa dia. Whatever be the case no, ubenye nipa ombe sorry tiao. Nemo wo de ne se obenya akukuduro ne wanya gidie na wuti mu pɔ ne onhyehyɛ pa pɛ odi adwuma wato akɔ anim de aye adwuma na sesi a ɔkɔ independent no does it know the amount of vilification ta na anim
so obenya wo ho
amount for obenya wo vilification ku nipa anka ye mpanifo adi ka di ani ka bebre na anka ewukɔ enti se bi den na ato no oti ɔman yi mu se e ka vilification ana se bibi wo wa ye rala na wakotru bibi a amanyoni bi nkotru organa ada. So I got through Bibi Amanyoni being called true organ ada. Omon can change. So letter Yera Boache Jakundi 2 jam.
Sure.
Fantastic, very apt. Yen Yamanyo Koni ye decided say we want to refrain and make sure say we are putting ourselves together, support each other and move forward and make sure we are able to maintain power. It's the emphasis you better change. But comments like this, no one share no would do one question, no one the yanka. Because the honest truth is say obiye ni wo betimi aka se Yera Lanchemanti sebi wa fetru bibia amanyoko no obi nfemu da anase politician bi enfemu da. So what at all are we talking about? And at the omudi aye no utimi sa shinipa no and at the all call about anything now if he has decided that he has resigned from the party, no abe independent candidate, what do you expect him to do? And the honest truth is that yes, there was some level of impact. You be saying a question, no, so na Shanti region here, Kadia, any ofifie ampa. It's about the deception. You see, an all black sheep can be all white to you if you decide to see it too. So what I say.
Yes.
We talk about politics being numbers. Yajitu mu say fina we fi amanyoko na anya wa adofo ewe chitafu bi ni ade a ombedi na echi ombeko. But the weight of the numbers is what matters and ameboa. So I tell you, it's about the value that is going to come out of numbers now ebia or de kono. That is what matters. Yenim sa abani saying there are so many unscientific assumptions nipa bebe make it. It's allowed. It's in politics. At the end of the day, I'm running swan and I behu. So I tell sana minia Kofi Adams sa odika ka motorway sem etwi yeru about me abehye mo call landing no baby say waji mpa free mpa bo be ne etu aka okroma onya on kan che sana so okompa ebo a otua from mpa ebo on kan che. But there's nothing wrong with somebody having a vision. There's not, and I mean, also be sound about motorway expansion. I know they call the number. And there, the PFA, even in the 2023 budget, it's there. And you know it is there. So what are you saying? Oh, we are okay, we are chichi basis Nyame ma NPP for that. Yeah, the yaka near Sanswa Kebim. We still maintain that the battle is the Lord's. It's a yeni padring. Oh, betting yes, Susu, as Bonnie. Esusu say we say NPP hwiase but nyame dada na ye som no se sa nyame no ne dan ne dia ene obehwe mra wo ye di tumi ma wo no abrabo a wo boy ne ya wo ye no obehwe sa ne ye no no dia to ene ya ye nso tumi be ka ye nsa no de ye nso ya ye eno na sa nyame no obehwe no de hyan na ye de anim se nyame no a ye som no se sa nyame ne be make decision there is going to be a choice of a government not teacher for chalk tita crown yetimi catch him say ye nye bi mom to a government yetimi aboy your home modern ama influencia ko influensu nie no inkwatimi ko school free or memwa. That is going to be the choice that God is going to look at. Eti onipa de obetimi asusu say bia odofu bia hwease eti ende na ye wo ya ema pese wo kan ka se onya kwanka ubebo yedua banyame ontie nyame ntie udua bo no so what I say. It is Nyankopon. In fact, in some Shabia Yera Kofi Adams go for you. A crime back on the trim, sana or this time I teach a trim. It doesn't be any dynamics. A trim with the natural Sunni Faso. But this is the government. So the road construction. A kind of do a buying where I so also the two are buying that than one. A brusu bebre, and you know it. Eti whether a foul chrome or nyabote, the argument, me teacher name kasa ampa. At the chair, Yero Kofi Adams chair, your chairman say, oh, your comparison. Look at the class of your friends saying items. Now I compare. That's what he taught us.
Biology.
So what you say? It is here compare, young compare can to car coin. So if he said there was a problem, say a beam foul chrome, 18-hour problem, then we have to look at the way of doing it. But in terms of achievement, there won't mean for who are buying it here, and to are buying we can decide that yes, it's the honest truth. Hope I am going into the numbers. So that you look at the total number of kilometers Yero Akufo-Addo are buying, are contributing under road construction. There are 2 months more dear. No problem. And I'm so perceived. We look at the kilometer. Remember what they're acquiring. And the coin will be a buyer. No, Bobby, say what you hear. Nana, wow, it's a bacoca, wow, we did say Chemo. Yeah, but and then I'm about the Chemo, so Eastern Corridor Road. When I'm here, Eastern Corridor. David Kanazone, Kanazo, Mukache said Kanazo was the best contractor Ghana for Mkono Onkosia. Oh, yeah, Ekosiisen. Emra Akufo-Addo coach more say Kwano. I'm so bukum. Then I'm catch say wada. And the auto ye council exam say yeah. Kanazo Jaja. Honorable Jaisa. So the honest truth is that say nyame dada na ya som no say sa nyame no ana oba be determine 2024 election ya de call dada.
Amen. Ekosiisen shini e higher Sempa FM. NST Alkomi Honorable Kofi Adams Nana ya Chempem Jantoa Medindi Osei-Bonsu. After this very, very short break, we'll come back and this time we'll deal with dialysis in sense. I mean, I think it's a topical issue. I know, sir, Kofinsu would want to touch a bit on Alan and Simon. Would have all that conversation after this short break. Yeah, but it's here. I'm on train. 94.7 Asempa FM. So ni Ekosiisen Jumedie no asugusua utie no in studio Ernest Yaokomi, or a member of the NPP's National Communications team. In 2020, he was the party's parliamentary candidate ewo Akwetia constituency. Sanso and Honorable Kofi Adams, or a former NDC Deputy General Secretary, and a member of Parliament with Buem constituency in the OT region. South Nanaya Achampim Jantua, General Secretary of the Convention People's Party. In Penfomi and saying anyone aiding Comomedin your Saibonsu. There are some other issues on our table. Alan the end that's his resignation from the NPP and the fact that Oko as an independent presidential candidate in the 2024 general elections. And Mote say the ranking member on the health committee Edin Komo Dr. Bernardo Kobo Edin Komo Nina fa Kolebu dialysis and as a renal unit no and Komobia a by and the statement by say information about beto no matching sign e was so mo parliament ansa omunya approval and no matimi a charge any new rate our dialysis center. And Honorable Kodwedu Asari made a passionate appeal. Efa saa nkomo no ehun ntimoma yenhyanso ni nyina gu apono so a yebehwe ne yedi hu nkomo some few messages na afei mensan emra back in studio na yentoa yenkomo no so Ekosiisen ne high Asempa FM we say Obi Nana ya Jantoa's thinking on the Laboni redevelopment is somehow backward and archaic. Laboni is a prime area, yes. Only a forward-looking policy seeks to convert a 1-acre land with a 3-bedroom house hosting a single family into a modern apartment that can contain more families. She should focus on the CPP, but because we are the NPP. Jerry Oseipoku, a Eastern Regional Organizer. Yeah, but I'll come to you and then you respond. Tobo. Why? Why? We say Obi. Happy birthday to Agnes Kwansema of Kaswa Papase. God richly bless you abundantly. Nana, mema okwan mo respond. Why Tobo? Why mema okwan Tobo? We say Obi. So Ernest Yakome is telling us today that there is nothing wrong with the vision. So JDM's vision of putting up over 100 community day schools, which they criticized heavily in 2016, also that in the future is indeed pregnant. Agbesin Luchu. Agbesin Luchu Edase. Well, so Obi, please, I want to find out from Nanaya, when Dr. Indum left the CPP, did the CPP go down more? Today, all of them will be happy because the NPP is facing internal wranglings. But they should also not forget, the NPP without chairman and secretary won the 2016 massively. History is about to repeat itself. Nana Amponsa Bediako.
No. He shouldn't have sent this message. He tried to identify. Those times. Oh no, not he wants to be counted. Say maybe.
A happy birthday to Chum. What's the message? Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Kwesi Kwenin Bosompem, or your incoming MP for Achim Swedru constituency. And thank you for always doing the listening. For your friend is saying, for the MPP, you know him, right? The name doesn't ring a bell. So, contested primaries. Sure.
So, one can say candidate. Then you're MP because it is the NDC candidate.
But you know him.
Yeah.
Now, him constituency
candidate.
But him constituency cry.
Achim Swedru. Why? How where MPP we knew?
Okay.
But
I think so they vote.
I think for Labeya mafia or
yeah, the vote.
I think for Labeya mafia or
I'm told the Honorable Western North Regional Minister is doing the listening. Honorable Jojo Rocky Obeng. Honorable, good evening to you, Jojo Rocky Obeng, Western North Regional Minister. Ma yentwa so na fe memra studio. We say Obi, I am Ata Kojo, listening to you live from Amsterdam. I love Nanaya Jantwa so much. Very beautiful lady. I say, but why is she so much concerned about the NPP instead of her party, the CPP? Issue at that point also, and or can't answer.
I saw to say Nipa me bisa say na no dey this year. What I say, Otta now the message ni ba onim ni entia obisa. What you say I love her so much.
Yeah.
Which is a wedding a chiache.
Sure.
Sure.
There be said there be a son now here na say trancha e wo mutu.
Okay, afia Nanaya my memra. Yen start here next round.
Okay.
Now say
Obi Laboni
dialysis and semen.
And we make a Laboni as we know what he's talking about. The big ones, no. A big acre,
sure.
A cantonments.
But what he the point he made the message ne say at Laboni currently a dina okeka say bungalows for civil servants no obehwe 3-bedroom apartment is ya sase kese so omo space crowd which so person in a party which I've visited friends benefiting
from all these arrangements. They do it, give it to the private person at a giveaway price. Sell it at an outrageous.
Okay, Nanaya, the question is new apartments are they still for civil servants?
No. I'm finding out to put it down. Don't talk like that.
Virtually, they built and it is out of reach
for the civil servants.
Okay,
maybe one after the other.
And now you are pushing the civil servants further away to us.
One after the other. Nanaya, okay, to make your point.
Prime area. It's yam Toma Brofo. Ghana for almost Labonia and yet.
But speculation in Swemwa. Sisiano, we are all speculating that Oka brought for the American.
No, I am saying because I brought 1% just almost
okay.
Any speculation, my dear Macron.
The microphones are live.
Even before 2010 DCB winning election. No more ye they say assassin and Crafasa and Abandada. Power actually what did they did West.
Look,
tell me, you did West. You did West.
Okay, it's okay. I'll come to you guys. Honorable Kofi Adams, maybe one after Nanaya has the floor. Or I'll come to you, and then Ernest would have his chance. Nanaya, yes.
The impression was somewhere busy high-rise buildings, not with civil servants. They ended up selling it to individuals.
Cantonments
there. And then Patrol, why take a travel? Can you imagine? Your friend is a civil servant. Yes. First, Patrol, Obi, go to First Laboni Street. Behind the secondary school.
Laboni Secondary School.
Patrol, find out who when one of the ACC diner, Yebubuno Musi. Just find out. Me Kazakekeo. Because see dine AC 1 acre so na buna was in high rise na a civil service and Ghana for enya baby atna enye hwe.
But is that not what is happening?
No. They almost bubu were cantonments or American embassy ho nya America for netete ho.
American Laboni.
For example, Laboni de kokwohwe. Go and we dey fan say me di tro de ko. I want you to go and First Laboni Street, my child baby.
No, me who's asking?
Yes, go and find out. Say that necessary was a government necessary civil servants. Young question. Say government necessary civil servants. A man who book it. My chance sign. But say government necessary civil servants. There, it is unfair. Your chia taxes all your life for chroma civil servants. You may be on better chromonibi. And come with the moon see crana mon toma or no munya baby for mutin to. Rollins is sees a common knowing. I'm on for to toy and will be a while pension, but that's what him. Adenta a ye flat. Nina a Jacob Fosi a Kumasi affordable. As a quarry man, won't go for to talk. Now, the woman may see be near your baby ada. What be yen to us? Omakoton. Minya be mekasa wo see ya tan ala na ninti nya hwe ya tan obi ani. Je so
wan kasa nya hwe.
David. O kan say.
No kan say.
Wan kasa nya hwe. The o kan say he should know say in politics. You maybe hear come politics now mo.
I mean vilification come we tiny penny ya tan wani evidence wait me akwa
politics. Now is in CPP you will issues with CPP.
Kabila.
James Kwabena Bonfe.
Minia.
Anyo no kwampo nipa bebre.
What I'm saying.
Wa kwa wo issue with CPP.
Who shame me.
Okay.
Just say yen tan and no onye din. Can you imagine at a point you say ala ne baba be ye ba omi advice. Wo kra wo ye pe wo say wo kra wo abam bebu. What you wanna
na enye good proposition.
Obi ono na or start a party and dey so me you be bacho yen to aso. Say the million nyina.
But dialysis.
Semni bia na areho enso so. Nya hwe nyame ne de bibia be man. Dialysis ne dey a very obi. You see, we are scratching the surface of the problem. Obi already 13 years when you dialysis, when you a kidney failure. 13 years.
It's free for kids though, but I don't know. Say
I am just
from
telling
13.
you, say,
okay.
16 years when you die a kidney failure. Legon universities in Kola enya kidney failure 25.
Sorry.
18, 30, 26, 27, 28. We should look at what is happening.
Root cause, no.
Because Okoko kai almost you on Kolane no nom a aphrodisiacs.
But
how does the aphrodisiacs enter our country? How do they come here? Number 2, COVID by when himself COVID affecting internal organs. And a COVID by most people didn't go to hospital. Be ho nyebi. No akwa nim tree. No a prescribe it because the stigma around it. How do we know say COVID nearby affected some of these young ones? Ultimately, obian fanenin ko me say Dr. Bika Chem say it is like an epidemic.
Kidney weight.
Yes.
Numbers 9.
Numbers say it is an epidemic. It is like an epidemic. And it is so expensive you cannot imagine. Mudi amo ka kolebu. The private ones munim sika omoje. Obian shaho, nobody is regulating. Do you know how much money they are collecting? Obino homo they are business. Our government any niho. Ensure what is going on. Young boys and girls, young men and women are getting kidney diseases. Obian fanenin koho. Anka baby anka by now ye they are Gucci and Sase they should do some research into why these because the young people you are supposed to be strong. Kidney disease in Adinya, what kind of internet I am paying for an account. And then I'm telling you. I mean, more than 4 doctors into they tell me they are worried. Yes, so 37 dialysis center, kola 30 years, 31, 28, 26, 16 years, 22. Why? So if aphrodisiacs are coming into there, why not a year education to ensure say in kolana and nom? How does it enter our country? Online trading. Who is regulating online trading? That is even an assumption. Who has done the research and investigated to find out at the current? I see. Even Ghana Health Service, are they aware of the escalation of kidney disease among the young people? And my dear, you can't kidney care now. You can't dialysis no. There is care beyond it. Ebinum be anemic. As I saw Jimoja, ebinum wa as I see a man dry and no say dro no kwa de ma woman is almost 300 Ghana cedis. Every dialysis a ibi obeko be see a man bi. One more be yes. Niema hu bebre o. And the care that has to go with it. Even omeduane ombedi e care. Otimase, and now me should be a collabi with TV3. I was so sad. Young girl was here so mamaye a transplant. Transplant no the process I'll go through to get a donor no ya asem papa. And sometimes you know so to me fail. Then you come back on dialysis. The psychological trauma. Who is looking at that?
Transplant.
Yes, so I'm far. Obo didn't rejected transplant. You are coming back onto dialysis. Yes. Who is even looking at these people? Apart from Sikasemna Kolebuka, who is looking after them? What am I say? Me, I had a friend that will go through that process. So many. And yeah, they are very pleasant. Omedi diem, the care, the dietitian, I will be trian, and same be. But so, share woma abruchiri. Then, Madam for Doctor, but what I say will be for you as a buy. Na oba be you know, treatment, dialysis. Also, shenwa, uti muse baby of by a sheni. On a mokra womb. We should even start investigating, say, if there is some medicine, be or why a bit me a dear more support warm. Because for me, it doesn't make sense that an organ that cannot regenerate. And that is what they are saying. And everybody is being lazy about it. And it is taking our young ones. And nobody is watching. Nobody is talking. Nobody is looking. Obiya in a near free ho. And a young colleague in a day we are affected warm. Sure. COVID levy, me, I believe strongly. Say aphrodisiacs, but what did COVID do to these young ones?
Sorry, I make a candle. There was a proposal. Will be the message by say maybe change COVID levy to
good proposal.
Cancer and dialysis
yes,
levy.
But also no, as so many share private places no. So more be any holistic. Because kolebunku enti mean what is going, the escalation of what is going kolebunku enti mean fa.
Because regional hospitals need dialysis.
Any dialysis, yes, how many units? But it is spreading everywhere, and you know the danger. People are using herbs, and herb no cramp no emma yes. And now kolaya interview no TV3 was say one there. Onye bia no okone maame ewu ne papa onye bia no okwo onye bia no otifie. As when Bibi say no, obi betimi introduce herbs bia man. Can you imagine say UGMC is work kesiye? One more only 3 machines. They need about 17 to 18. And you see a bro 17 machines. They be 17 machines and then besine. Me mona for medical field besine 17 machines in my UGMC. I was only 3. And the private ones are cashing in.
And I hear say even the specialists, no?
The nephrologists, almost
15.
Yes.
The whole Ghana.
Wow. Nephrology, almost no. Into Uber also almost clinic na. Nipa no kura wonya daji intimi show munyina. What did I mention? So why is somebody not looking? Why is somebody not thinking about Ghanaians? Why is somebody not looking? Professors no mugu kolebuno. Don't they know hospitals? The Ghana Health Service should get data on what is going on. And Food and Drugs Board, Mimi is my cousin, Mimi Mr. And then akwanya imao. Me pacho bi weni ne shesa aphrodisiacs ne baganan. How are they entering the country?
Na only unuanum man etna bas mu eduru bi ebeba ombeto bi
but the sad thing is a mema no enya no more than a man.
Yeah, say mema ne nonom sa ne
yes. But we cannot till we do a research on what is going on. We do an analysis, funny 30, 40 within that age to find out to say what are the issues that lead now lifestyle to sing.
Because Honorable Kojedu Asare a lot more info, and obviously because he's been at the center before. Say baseline here, unya your friend is saying high blood pressure and a diabetes. Indeed, if you have those two conditions, that is what they are. We are 90%.
But my dear, there are people who have high blood pressure and diabetes. They don't get kidney disease. Me, my mother had high blood pressure when she was 35. She had diabetes when she was 50 something. She is 93. They are look. The doctor told me that look, madam, these things that they are talking, I don't believe it. Yes, triggers, but people have it at one menu. If a young person has these two, it should not necessarily lead into this because it is being managed. You are aware of it. So what is happening? What are we eating? Obi Kraka say Indomie.
Indomie, so the boys need.
That is the point. Obi kwa kachem say Indomie. And nnuane a yɛde
so nneɛma na accounts are seasonings
no monosodium glutamate. Who is watching? Because talk your friend is saying spicy be. It looked very natural. Something just told me to read. Monosodium glutamate as a base. It's being sold on the market. Obi, how did it enter?
Matisse, Chum, do we have him on the line? Matisse, a state house and boss, so person making input on Laboni in seminar.
Okay.
Okofa buy and inti ma yenti what's happening ewa Laboni because a buying a dainty. Napiana et is saying Bibi Aboko.
Boko Miniobi, na I'm trying to say.
In crying Boko pa. Mebacho Matisse or some quick input to make. Laboni, what's happening? A buying a dine ewa hono.
Okay, also when you with them, that's in Roma, I pass as CDC Diana, Matisse, many other at the studio, or can send there, said the now, this is an opportunity, to try to educate Ghana for anyone, because there's a lot of misconception in terms of the role Class 8000 play in the housing, On the Oshe Laboni Estate, State Housing constructed part of it actually in the 50s and the 60s. You turn Emma private individuals. Being so a codi a buying ho, and we handed over to the ministries, the government workers as duty posts. And on the one, State Housing bills and hands over. The administration of that is no longer in the hands of the company. Internet says State Housing, young fan say a die said yes, you are denta, American other places. If Obi Uber Toby Cecilia, what's name 30 years. That's all ABI dine if it's now Pesoya Nabusaya. All that you do is you write to State Housing, say dynamic to free more I say now I want to change the use. And what State Housing here, our experts go on site, assess it, do traffic impact, the impact on your neighbors, etc. And then we do the approve, the consent to develop for you. You should not say, or neighbors, so and I say, it'll be your consent that then we decline it. That is the extent State Housing. In Joshe Laboni Estate, so Kofi Tomo, in the 60s, Ghana NPP, they can decide, so okay, instead of having a 3-bedroom on this big land, maybe a BBC apartment, said they are torn and I said they are rented. It being so more torn to other private developers. And in a normal State Housing, then we give the consent. And State Housing, I say rough, and I say ABI, a buyer in a State Housing. It is not the case.
Even the State Housing scene in the 50s and 60s, no. Ebi oho amoton my individual, ebi oho nso amodema ministries, no more amodema government workers, civil servants in the other no. From the Nanaya Ekano, some of those na civil servants no etimono. And no na says here be about beto redevelopment. Yeah, that's where her issue was.
Okay, so a buying a redevelopment scheme or more here with such properties at the moment in the 50s and the 60s. So unfortunately, and it does not fall under State Housing.
Okay.
I'm not, because once we build and we transfer, like so you have to Dania, the senior Dama area, we don't really get back into it.
Okay.
So as the developer, it's as and when they use the change, we use the banana we just approve of the development.
Okay. It means the modern ministries, our ministries, are buying workers, ministries. I don't know, say, we have to go back to the ministries, right?
Exactly. But I know, say, a buying a redevelopment agenda, or more redevelop all the areas. And luckily, State Housing, we've been a beneficiary. It was a ring where state say, buying decided say omobe redeveloping. I mean, like about 3 homes occur a year. Ringway say.
Okay.
What we are doing is replacing the 3 homes with 16 homes. That's something that we have done. And say we are hoping say by the end of November we'll hand it over back to the ministries so that instead of housing 3 people, now they can house 16 families. 16
families. Yes, and also meaning say the ministries will still give it out to civil servants here, right?
Yes. So it is going back because you say the duty post and Osha instead of so the government has a redevelopment initiative where, like for example, this 3 homes we have converted into 16 homes. So instead of having 3 families, they are going to have 16 civil servants living there. And but in education. Because if you are not within the sector, you are now
okay. Kwabna Ampofo appear. Honorable, question be yeah. Honorable Kofi Adams, so I not see your question be
listen. Since I'm from media, my more housing development program are more in other regions, including the new regions like OT region, Ekosiisen, because I have serious concern about my proposal. I say,
new regions no state housing there.
Yeah, state housing. Okay.
Housing. Okay. Nana.
And state housing, especially in the new regions, no. Since its creation, no, and as a matter of fact, okay, and I'm fine so Meko Ahafo, which is a new region. So what asasira for Edin Komoso my asasi Netimi Sidaya, workers, doctors in Adabia, Repustio Makoho, no many baby ato. And as a matter of right now we have lands in almost all the regions apart from Otia Okamase. Okay, Sevios to say a western north, Sevios Mahine gave us about 500 acres. Right now you see about 50 of them are Ghana immigration. For Atwa or more immigration officers at the horses here in the Bono region, so we've done a couple. Right now, no, because we are a limited liability company, we have to basically compete with the private market in terms of land, funds, everything. But no, we are
I would say OT region no munya asasibia.
OT region in Kwanta South, we've started talks with some landowners there. I'm hoping and we'll be able to finalize it so that we'll be able to have assets in OT.
Okay, honorable Sasiama State Housing.
Documentation be so just can assassin ye ready ni bibia bet na yanti bibia biom. And the chiefs are in for no mu bisame. That is why I will fray.
Person Busan is our question. Yeah, I mean just ready. The chiefs are ready.
I am ready. That is absolutely good news.
Okay.
To all the district assemblies. A lot of the chiefs are also only assassino mature letters are come up macho. So among my assassin. And it's a just can he said Nasasia ready for us with the honorable Medawasi Mefro after the programming now Kawedi Menim they could 2 1 more because it's something that is very dear to my heart. I'm trying to say baby, every district, every corner of the country, be able to be I'm a company now.
Fantastic. Nana, you better say. Nana, I say only question.
Maybe more question.
Okay. Nana, just
State Housing, the they are now almost singing almost the a public servants. What I say? To bet me at no atone into one this case we. They may make cano. Under works and housing and that almost to rent and no course is there. Even our residents are not happy with what is going on. It's any within the domain. Only there was I know some almost hand over, not yet they are my public servants. But this one is a private developer. And meaning say so only my first Laboni Street behind Laboni
Secondary School.
Say only development, they are fine. Because you know state housing, the almost
Very well. Nana, maybe I say what when your clarity on the now cano.
Yes, I have a clarity that in America, I think before going public like that, I have a number. Let's talk about it now in so that it would feed into the public discourse. And you don't miseducate the public.
Very well. Intimate the number nebemano or no bidding come. Why? And then we take it from there. Yeah, that's Papa. Kwabena Ampofo appear managing director, State Housing Company Limited, and motate say edin come. It nana yenefa no sina honorable.
As some make can say as see my ni koho.
Okay.
We cannot have young colano omo ye like omo yare. We are then obi ni kidney ya omo dialysis na omo timi fine, but mostly and no so omo ye yin na me hwa asema me kan say ade e more sikasem because nipa ni timi kokko cleansing omo chemi mu says like cleansing.
Yeah.
Nipa timi cleansing ho a oyo okay, but omo here help. Even private ones, they be 750. We see kolebu, intina kolebu yes I know because omo hu say grovo be making money. Ebinum ji 780, ebinum ji 800.
For one session.
And then now you can doctor can ebinum year 2, ebinum year 3. It's not an easy thing, but I believe that there should be some research to help them. What is going on?
Because somebody sent me a message saying we should also look at galamsey so and maybe an effect on anointing. Yes. Maybe we just need a research.
There should be a research as I see a team Gucci no mutimi ye juma because we cannot have our young one a colebia me who no 13 years. How can that be? When your kidney disease. That's on dialysis and on to me managing home.
What it means is that for 13 for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Yes. He has to be on every week.
Every week.
Hey.
And as I say, and so how do you pay every week? So even if it is 500 though, even if it is 300, a week near 600 Ghana times 4 years and 2,400
every month.
Every month, and sana de keke kahuya are making.
Wow. Anyways, because I'm told and Rana Honorable Edwasari Kasa so more treatment require will be more cramps be woman or send jam.
I ne omoke cancer bebre o. Omo wo no bi omo nonom ne ade omoke cancer bebre.
Honorable Kofi Adams and then Okoboye Kasa
and the Pachaka last one.
Okay.
Me Pacho Sikananka COVID level if they will maintain they should maintain it. But more fund consolidated fund or Monte National Health Fund attached to a Dr. Koboy institution. Okay. But government or
now I'm maintaining COVID level, but now they should refocus.
Yes, refocus into for peripheral diseases.
Yeah.
Yen focus on peripheral diseases now working. And no crowd any obia betua.
It's true.
Near more bianya access. As long as I yentimi and stocky hospitals na public no. So oko private to grandpa you should be able to be on that.
The state should pay.
Yes, the state should pay. No one can regulate a private for no. Yen say Ghana Health Service should be going round to see say if they are doing the right thing. Just because almost they run it for a business.
Very well. May that say. Honorable Kofi Adams.
Yeah, Minya. Minka say issues now. Modi atuja say yenka wasem no. May try say America kra modi amami me touching na kakra na at the appropriate time no. Ye benya dagia ko much more details. Alan Dieno na Eddie Kane Ewani America.
Okay.
Now, Mecca say he's taken a good decision, even though about late.
A bold one too.
Very bold decision. The late in coming and say, or no as a person, no, on your decision, no, mfaso. I can say that clearly. As Alan, the political progression, the intentions, the decision now will take it, and he has taken it too late. And he, or no, as a person directly, on ya, because he had the intention saying, okay nyamene pair maybe on froa on survey or minor at the very highest level of presidency. With any interviews, why from the time the young executive forum and chairman Omo Sweden in 1996 saying Kaun as flag bearer on their behalf. The bedroom this time no, it means that he'd preferred saying Kaonya sa Quenya na ka a bet. Decision now will take 6 years and few days. Monday, you know, is bold, but it's late. But a year late, Emma or mine Ghana. Ama Ghana for Abaso at the time, Obama or more Jane a young one say, not so straight say, ye call Abatuo Fofro, and ye then MPP are now. NDC are now, or maybe any of the other parties, you know, the alliance decision, Amma Sankrofono, it clearly said MPP is no more an alternative. Who pay or mine ye, who drink or mine ye, who per se or mine becon the name, who per se near the founding fathers of this country, Nyamukunye. Omuye ni ombeye eji omaya ye friend Ghana on the maye no se wo pe omay no pa dia se young persons are nanu ye omuye demonstration ya omudabe no occupy Julobi house se nya omudwe nya omuhwehwe if we will have to achieve that and the MPP is not in the equation as far as ye leadership of this country no concerned. So moving from MPP, no, this is for me the biggest positive. That clarity has come because look, an easy decision for someone of that nature, of someone what's not party no more, what build the party no to take. It is because we who say at the end a drew baby say me who the way I made them in mind. Mameka this na one year the way super delegates if we a mistake it could possibly happen say then
Paul Amantem for
but the same mistake or say me then mekasa ma o mine I choose Ghana over partisanship and no and why look bebre ewo mu they are feeling it, and I am sure, say, on one, when say maybe I'm not describing them as omo enjoying no, but when you enjoying us omo kuku bimnum na wo bie so kra we say sometimes they don't want to come out. They are still there, but we are na say obaku bi nya piepe now we will say if a few more will join and to minim say nya ala na ye die expect a few solid ones no so mo be den beba be ka ho ni nyina e ma clear indication omotimi akoye omusha reads e die yi nipa omope now between Dr. Baumia Kennedy Japan
akoto free
any adanimo well clearly say uhu nya omo ye idia omo pese omo de ma Baumia omo de na look Ekosiisen because yenim already bebrebe nsem bebre awoka ya yenye medical my example be about concrete rules earlier. But me say we are going to move from taxation to production. In the earlier program, about taxing tourism industry out of jobs. So they are just increasing rates beyond this. And no Baumia and then party nearby Omoka say we are moving from taxation to production. That is the outcome of Omwaba after being in office for 7 years. You know? That's the results. More taxation and more taxation. Obi I will say, yeah, Mbabasia, Nasikano ewoha. The money is here. We don't have to borrow. Or see, let's build roads and told them, meaning where Ernest and Co were when he was saying all those things. They should go and sit down and let them replay. Say mo be defendia na mo aba. Omo say we will not borrow. And then ya bobo siama yentumi kran entua. Do you know our debt level now? 100% GDP. Ye GDP ni nyina ye di kokoto kra yentumi ntua. Ebi kra beka. But at the time you were complaining, no, just a little above maybe 60%. Look, you inherited 120 billion. You inherited 120 billion. What I would say 122. Let's even accept say 122. But at the time you took over, and yet the time you start and did the calculation 3 months after, you find 122 billion. You find 2 billion. Yaji, you had better all the previous heads. So you pekura you find just His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So nina, ene enamhi. We 122 new free man. Just this government alone, NS buying had contributed more than 400 billion. What is there to show? 540. The 540 billion, what is there to show? Meaning, Abra now is Dr. Baumia Eka said, when the fundamentals are weak, no, the exchange rate will expose you. No? Now exchange rate, no saying. Ukra 3 CD, 90 pesos, ubenya $1. Ine, na saying. 360. Na. You almost need about 12 CDs before obenya $1. Before obenya $1. Then why yes then you think that inflation rate na you saying and no more complaining. Or come at the market to calculate, to even change the calculation, reconfigure and do all kinds of things. Na you saying. So clearly, no. Ghanaians will see the clear difference. They would make a choice for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because on the issue of health, directly dealing with these renal issues and our kidney. Look, how well we take serious primary health care. Say yanteki primary health care serious. Now people continue to do all kinds of things on their own at that level. Yare bebrea could be managed appropriately. No, anka enko ye organ distraction yare no. Not because of poor management at that level. No, na adani akwakoye an organ-related issue. Sometimes even simple malaria that you could treat appropriately. One treating a year now it can lead to what? Organ malfunction. So we need to invest heavily in the primary health care. And on the hand, say this even community health systems, chips compounds, systems here nanka vigorously no has been abandoned. You are not strengthening other institutions. Look, we take our agriculture, we don't take it serious. Bibia obe fabia ye tonton indroa ye digu yen produce so insecticide pesticides egugu ho insecticides egugu ho all kinds of things egugu ho nipa no be tokra e bi wo ho some cannot even read and write, so they don't even read the instructions. omunim say o side dre yen fan gu crops so at this time because who the go or say it take maybe 3 months and now 4 months and son why you harvesting for consumption. Nipa no ye leafy vegetables. We won't say insects be attack vegetables no instead of cutting it and burning no now akwakoto chemical be about spray to kill the insecticide, harvest the next week and send to market say or ton. And to akwakoto leafy vegetables say oh doctor see men didi basa didi leaves in the salads and no you are consuming this chemical poison into your system. We don't monitor, we don't do all these things. And at all levels, you know, we are just ton yare bebre e de mayem. Ebi wo ho a nipa na akwa spray ne farms na ewie no. Ni sprayer machine na or the spray no or room machine na he wash into the stream. And I wash close to the stream. And he so no talk a cry now are draining into the stream. And also the source of drinking water for a lot of persons are more below him or her. We won't know because it has been a main source of your drinking. We won't know, man, you are drinking all kinds of things into your system. So a certain level of at the very top level, we are worried about the specialists even in various fields, but we are not looking at the foundational problems Emma adieneba so much yen sheda enya enough specialists to attend to that situation. Meaning until we do this and check the foundation and make sure say na eba ye marketer, it is coming when it must come. Say bro and ya store a bro no ye de edregumu so that weevils may not enter and destroy her. We must keep it up to the number of months or say eshishan sana ye diako jom say ye den ye kwa koto. Because nipa no pese wo di the kenke ana akple ana benkuna obekwa koto ebronu from this that may not know say ye edrona ye di gum no na endru even 6 months. And now the number of months I will say sana ye diaba a jum say ye den ye beton. So no matter how much you attempt to wash, you cannot wash everything out of the grains. So there are many ways that we have caused harm to ourselves by not checking some of these basic things I will say ye checking. And so we need to take steps. Primary health care, there should be a way. Say the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, and the rest, some level of what relationship in checking Sanyami, in following the chain. Okay. Obi beto chemicals now. How do you follow to its application? Look, in my constituency, in Kofi no more company about say omukuku no shishi. When I tried to check, I realized say. Some of the guys now ya found say moon spray cocoa no Emma farmers they use the same machine to go and spray weedicides on other farms. They don't wash it well. No more the fertilizer now you best spray on the cocoa. No more they abegu the same machine and spray the cocoa. Na cocoa no so why then ashe ewu. That was what was happening. So clearly in Yamabi we need some serious intervention to save that situation here. And primary health care, we must invest more in that area. Yes, sir. The intervention will be earlier, the intervention will be quicker, it will be appropriate, it will be right, and it will save the situation. Simple malaria. They be the example. Ufa coatim. Yeah, in the right doses after a certain time, but one fan in the right way, and now 1 year now we can find drubia, but the pain will go away gradually. Now so the parasites now cause malaria symptoms. Na igusu o system. Ebeya didia kwa kura even other organs ne manka and we say ekum. Okay. And it can cause damage to your liver. It can cause damage to many other organs, any other foreign ailments so these kidney things are the kidney is a major, it's like a refinery for the body. As the lungs oxygenate with blood, the kidney
that's anatomy.
They like the refinery of the body. That's in function here together with liver, they all help in some level of what breakdown. And function here,
you have a problem.
You have a problem. Serious problem.
I think your point is well made. Ernest and Komono Emre. Ernest, I think one other big story, this kidney in Komoa Yedi. Mamintio on Alan, there's a wakadi obekan earlier. And
baby, I will say, and when first year come food, you are for near come for
what she say, and near Wachacha.
Say Alana Obeti, Kofi Adams, ne
Nana
Jantuaka. On one asema, we have seen Dr. Bamia, we like him. We've chosen him, and he's going to lead us in.
You have chosen him already.
Oh, relax. We've chosen him in our heart, but why not? We are just Nyami why you? I can't say so we've chosen him in our heart. Okay, Bible David, no shame room, no kind. So I just say, Nani Mianum penny for fear. You can find if in room. So me diadie. So I tell oh, I don't know me to me now but here when I'm to me now but
don't
worry. That's it. So we've seen him and we like him and we've chosen him. He's going to lead the party. It is a wow so no better mobia show kutupa. Now when your false sense of entitlement be a me should say Chief Alan baby wa bona brabo abedu and they ordained life I know. Better now and allow himself to be misled on certain things. No, I believe we are all condemning.
He's choosing the country.
Nyabuche. Me person as a meka Nyabuche. Or say the fact say Chief Alan decided say or co-independent and no quite say NPP for kwano ye film chese ye nka
agronomo nka ho bio.
No mo ye funka games no na NDC ka. Or not your no leading funka games. And you know. But Nyabuche, near the external elections. What I say, didn't you do the internal elections before you did your external elections? Nyabuche, Nyami. But you see, me person me ko say baby because Sebi and some pretty straightforward. So what I say, as a politician of that standard and that stature, baby our do no. So I don't feel say yes, same no person or did the latter part of the political career here. It's on to him. You understand? Because when Yeti Kroma, we've been told, say, the number of floating voters, about 10% out of the voter populace. It is MPP woman numbers, na NDC woman numbers. Now share the oko out now, say be winning now, winning. We don't need some magical powers to know your intention. We know. It is a netia now person or say we guy in my young. We make sure say you have a boy guy in Obai. Emma won't say netia ningum. It's straightforward. It is how the office officers out there, the Nipane Dana. I don't know nothing. Go to Sassan and I can say, and Yabutenya, or come out somewhere, I will say, Anna, at a point, I say, running me to Dr. Bamia is an issue. I mean, I can even say that. Politics, and he knew. And I can say, I shall to watch and we say, Brandy Bedia, dear. And I'm one, I'm catching as a president, Kufua, a foot to the 2 yen. Said it is better to be a cleaner. Yes, I know, Makache. Yeah. What happened to that?
In a government in power than
a government in power.
A general secretary.
They already in power. If that is an understanding, unfunny, sir. But the honest truth is, you see, and you may be all your phones are no one show there. Your coatis are as same ways are, and they do as I was here the year and fat on here the boy about. If we don't want to accept it, the way is your forward. The way is your forward. Now I'm sorry, cleaner.
On the next issue.
Obi, Mamimbo, I think she spoke my mind largely on
dialysis and
seminar. Now the truth of the matter, and say dialysis and seminar I can a reward because be a be as a two na o share the impact ɛwɔ ho den so a sɛ be adwuma mpo ntimi nye nie ana wetimi nye sika kwa kotua o medical bills nti sɛ woni adofo bi wɔ wabusuam ambe so wasen aboa with the medical bill. The alternative is that if one other can also prepare so better because there are two options. Either you go for the transplant or you are on the dialysis, which the outcome is that you are managing yourself to death. So I tell you, it is a ubi or no need be papa biaye. Now share the cost of managing Yaren itself. Now the teaching so partners a young Ghana for ye need to my own. And I say before because sometimes ye tima ye woman nipan ayana ewo form. She won't say oko foreign universities near there. We are happy to assess scholarships near the na ye niaji. But a new party say me no you are bobra na ne kakrawa no are donated towards the development. Na inquire to me access our scholarship fund free. She ye penny for near there etiku mo anu say no. Omunyeska sana last me no kwata bia o ka sinti skade mo de ya ni mutu ni ade a Sunday anopa mutu no ma she nika no ma kodi mutu oh Kofi no mutu ni mpa se obe ani akom na akoye issue be o de mame nka ma asem person e be kom be proceed what I say and no kwati takrampo no yentumi nye corporate social responsibility see e be fa bibia to ya koma pon so ne ya bo akra no yentumi nye. Then comes our state agencies in Swasem. Who the 2 million ni pansa? A humanity to our some year no moon to me. Then Tiana and I come imagine say before I say we bear topical issue. Metitin kofo manya kidney problems near there. That is why I agree with her say I bear epidemic no. Because the problem is that what's in it too much in a day. Over here say adorso too much. Until I'm beside say enti omai mu nyina research ben na ye finding out say a day na man nipa ni nya kidney problems too much. Look, I think about a month ago na metie mo fidie or say Adom also. Then they said there was a research from NAST in terms of that is saying the lead component and how much as a lead component what that is saying and you're more than the approved standard that it will say who is talking about it? Research number what can you say we trim. That is saying so ye de no akokoma ye de no bankuma ye de no wachema ye dini every single day. Who is finding out
the Ghana Standards Authority and so around.
Yes. So who is finding out say acquire your first on why ye duane ni bimpona enche yana who is finding out? Enyama we nyina ye hu. Then Food and Drugs Board. What do they do? And now I mean we can say is on say nkofo ka aphrodisia. Aphrodisia ne kwa tonchen. There's a popular multivitamins and kofo numochroma. Me madam for be a professor or Legon, on a head of pharmacological department. On a record many man say out they are about ni gidi ni I say utimi fa edu we bi na misio. We have edema kan idea na che say e ade and am ko to be after 3 months on one kasa firm say out edu na me ka say tonija enum biem. Because of the brand purposes best me body. So what I say o si jainom na enum biem na Mianka Sami de do not to laboratory. Actually, when we say do no a slow thinking rate. Yankopon me dancing mean a very popular medicine. You call off air, I'll tell you guys. So it has a slow thinking rate now. Or starting no more do no who say not dream ya day on your activity say we to decide say or be research. And who say do no side effects but because you being so brand near the on the own team in fan to by yen record mend my or two anamon. Look, there are so many in Dronia there in Kofi Adams.
You should share this information with the Food and Drugs
Authority. Yeah, of course.
Now,
they should then move in.
Something that you are okay.
So you must share the information. It's not enough, say, Obeka or more, or no recommend him. You should share the information that he has.
And with his standing, no, FDA Befani.
Oh, yeah. Or you'll be named or PhD in pharmacology. And yes, or can say we say. Or not, and he's practicing. So I say, you know, or to me for no, I stopped taking it. But I'm using Kofi Adams to me shedding.
But don't me shedding. So,
yeah, Obi product. Oh, they've been found. Me na so be na me wa me koka Obi. Yeah, that is a good recommendation. I think. Say, I was say me catch no 2-1. Until Food and Drugs were also almost sorry. Oh, state agencies now also standard board. It says now kind product be brave one market in so. And say a market this so.
And when the interest in this at our entry ports, they all have officers there.
Yeah.
Supposedly they will say omotion yoma ebe to say this will not enter, this will not enter. But
you know, they be as American state institution there. Obi oyejumo bi motivation here there. Fabeto na yenhwe cool baby. That's the honest truth. But we need to go beyond it. So what I said be, anye onua be odishie bi. And to Jessica now who approve get to know say
Jessica every day in Ghana, every week I also spend 1,000 Ghana. Where are you going to get that money from?
That is the honest truth. You need to mama because what quickly you know what can our best stop is from getting onto the market. Then comes most media for a draw bia a ton Ghana bia do be any way Ghana be a massy mudema. And I say any menstrual pain, same Fiona. Now, Musumafa, meaning so 4th estate for video now.
No, I'm not.
Thank you. And I don't know what I 4th estate for Kofa malt, and no more cook, and no more Fanta, no mushy good bottom, no more brandeno. Near the man Munsem Chofu ya. And the Mebo media house is needed because it's a video echo out.
Well, the problem is any fault of the host, because on also be expect to say all the necessary checks
would have been done.
That's like
but send me almost canon on your fault, you know. And video no power share. That is how they and I was see DJ machine is supposed to be. No, it's not supposed to be.
But a malt ne
Fanta ne do go bottom. And you have to need in your Makofa. I'm near for malt, I'm near for malt. And I put you cook, and I find a Fanta, and a branding in your demamo. But you won't go for it, and no pa. I do a easy Betty say, che, and not Bema. Did this, sir? I want to it's young, baby. I'm saying, who with TV so. Any the radio soon no cry was now we show more sister stations CB and your multimedia move but some of the stations even now shall not take halfway and it's no more G drone one Sebi. So what I say it is send you I and I was
mostly a lot of the Ebeba radio so radio for Beka Hwasem now go through FDA processes. The danger no. The danger na omo eton wo cars mo and am before ya be kono ma hye wo mo anim be different in row omo no majority go through FDA because FDA the say wunya boss wo radio so say FDA will come in it is mostly the bad radios no na FDA a pass it ama we say oh no say there one or two will slip through but majority no
radio stations are slipping through near the end. But the other side is so they say and my ano so ham ranty and so nancy
no so yeah something we have to talk about oh na mo mani nwe
special too much. So I say, and then perform and you shall at 30 years near the
aphrodisiacs
enhancement drugs. I didn't. So and obeti a drobia a ton my mubiano and more sisi mute over boy juma and our base until my ham ranty too much. Yama minimum higher papa no sa. It's your munya bote. The rate at which your mom rantian and no aphrodisia and no wins
just to satisfy.
Yeah. What I say now, why be two now? We be saying that a difference on quan on the massa. Oh, yeah, bote.
If you stick, no,
it is obedient. Is that your assertion? Say obedient bakwa. Oba no intimate wa master on kofa aphrodisia. Obeti me atete. So Tete say well check my main story be me mate be catch I say on more taken there was a guy be the course mate Marco and the girlfriend had so Nejuma and so any Nejuma and so any sana okofa one of these sexual enhancement drugs okofa and say wa fan overdose I say guy na come pie say pa oh yeah no we I'm telling you true story. And you say we are multiple partners no and e be mo obi okofa and my na omunya ntobo ase no munyai pressure na modema ememu anu na wadwuma nso ani na
and emema no so nye reasonable bebre na so would want to go out there and impress we dey me dey akira che nti me pese me ko impress I know say another issue if you mon chenya but o worry o ye amount pressure
so worry nipa na obete wase na wo worry ya be wakwa ade ni Nyankopon ye wase wo worry ya no
one aspect is that there are too many uneducated minds on radio talking about sex. What is and radio, TVs, late night, no more discussion. No more cause excuse my language, or some prostitutes being in a good studio, or no more demonstrating scientifically. Say your Bermani or Barbeda Crampono. In your first way saying there are some minutes you will not last beyond. Those uneducated minds will sit on radio and make it look like Bermani. Also to me, Gina, so 1 hour. Can you imagine? What a day? That is the point. But these uneducated minds will be saying things to incite people. And I say, and I maybe and I say all those things. You are just an uneducated mind misinforming people. Who is checking? Who is watching? Yet now, na edi enye wia na afiti say and they are can say me mo akosi na oche I to assume yembe discusses same way biom na
money doubling and those things are SMC work kaswa ayeka mo asem mo say o mo close listen say asa babak o call TV so we've gone to sleep over it.
But it's a sad story. We need not to sleep over this thing. Tisana and I can say BP diabetes. Me papa also like or suffer from BP no 27 years. But 72 years and he was when kidney failure. So at contrary to the way I sometimes say portray nyama boom. Traditional medicine now can say serious, but I have a friend that name me. Sa awonyoni nuni adbi not take kwase or the sa any ade ni liver essay any internal organs me try on to essay amo
concentration no
but yes so you didn't want dance here rough keke kopa awonyun bi even covid by no mutu yefo me say me na me num bi da covid by o mo kan na de ko me konum ba ko na me konum kakra no me do so many man who say we say me no be obi service and you ready but we need to take some of this serious
adia ebeye juma ama wo no
enye juma it is a one size fits all prescription no enye it's true. Thank you so much. Radio so
because on any kidney disease no they are vulnerable to can be to say nipa na dialysis like waiting. Do you get me? They are listening to us and when we talk almost so it will let them feel that it is not like that. Dialysis 17 years
and live for that long.
Yes, we live.
Okay, very well.
Yes, it depends on how you look after yourself.
And manage to get to know early.
Yes.
And through crisis stage now. Mostly no it through crisis stage. Yeah, it's true. And that's why regular and when so meyanka
checks
onin kofo ka say omonye regular check out be say o check up boarding but sa nipa na yie bi obeton toma fofo birthday photo shoot
let's make primary health care closer to the people so that regular checks BP no ye check ye
na nem podi owura pharmacy shops be bra utimi ye at least u BP I agree but regular check as encourage it now man for because so kwa and then largely ukoye BP check ne sa no man e bo no nye bebre ubeton toma for ye bia your birthday photo shoot
education as a media news as a
ye bebo ye homoden
be my ande muntu amofo no
omuma pressure no na ya janto aye da se Honorable Kofi Adams said that next year komi akwetia star boy ye da se Ekosiisen ne higher Asempa FM.